Hello everyone, welcome to my vlog. So it's Thursday morning and of course it's time for another vlog. So today's vlog I would like to dedicate it and talk a little bit about makeup artists. Actually, I have received a message from one of my viewers who actually asked me that question. How do I choose my makeup artists? Like how many of makeup artists I work with? So he basically sent me a few questions which I found were really intriguing because I never actually put thought into it. I actually have one makeup artist at this point I'm working with, and over the last couple days I was just trying to kind of make a list of all those qualities of the makeup artist I'm looking for and how actually I choose my makeup artist and how this process look like. So today's vlog, I would like to talk about it, to get into some details and give you a little more feedback and just give you a little bit of advice. I know from my experience, having good makeup artists is crucial, especially when it comes to headshot photography. If you're going to have a good makeup artist, your not only your work gonna look better, but also gonna save you a lot of time in post production. Because I realize if the makeup is properly done, then you don't need much to do in Photoshop later on. It's actually just make the process much more pleasing, and it's like everyone wins in my opinion. But at the same time, like, you have to have the right one, because if you're gonna have some not experienced one and someone who's not gonna do good job or even gonna create bad job, that's gonna pretty much like make your life even more difficult. So let's jump into those qualities, I have to say, which gonna make your makeup artist, you're gonna make the right decision to pick the right one. Okay, so the first one, which I think is really extremely important, so whenever you will be contacted by makeup artists, and I'm sure most of you guys, like, whenever you start pushing your work through social media and you're gonna just actually exposing your stuff, you're gonna get a lot of emails and a lot of phone calls from makeup artists. I'm getting a lot of them recently, especially, and there's a lot of people who are interested working with me. But at the same time, like, you have to be very careful when it comes to choosing the person who you want to work with. So the first tip I would have to say is, like, you don't want to take brand new makeup artist who you never worked before, or someone who is like basically off the streets who you don't even know. Take them to the paid shoots. You want to pretty much test them on some shoots where you're not as much responsible and you don't have as much, I would say, like, things to lose if something goes wrong. So if someone contacts you and then you want to work with you, the good tip, what I would suggest, and that's what I've done, you want to work with this person on some free shoot where you can actually test this person and kind of see how they work, what kind of work they produce, how they deal with clients, and then stuff like that. We're gonna talk a little bit more about this, but that's the kind of the first tip. You don't really want to take new person on paid shoot where something like you take too much risk. So create some free shoots where you get the model or get someone and invite the person and see, look, you know what, let's do this free shoot and see how this whole thing looks like. So the next tip, what I have to say, is you're looking for someone who have experience. Like, you don't want someone who is experiencing on your photo shoots, because this is not a time. You need to have a person who comes to the shoot and they know exactly what they are doing. And that's extremely important, especially if you shoot, let's say, some corporate stuff, and then there is some person who it's really picky, and then they know what they want. You need to have someone who can kind of overcome a lot of difficulties. So it's good to have someone who have that experience. On the top of that, I would suggest, would be nice to have makeup artist who knows a little bit about photography, because then they know how to contour the face properly, because they know kind of what kind of lighting you're doing and stuff like that. And let's be honest, like, makeup is a huge thing, and they can change the face dramatically, and they have to know what they're doing, because that's can, as I said, can even, you can hit the jackpot, or you can kind of have completely go into some disaster where, you know, like it's might be horrible to even to deal with. So basically the makeup artist is supposed to or should have some kind of experience, which, you know, they know a little bit more. And then let's say if you find the right person, you can also train them when it comes to photography and explain them about lighting, about stuff what you do, so they also have a little bit of more understanding how their work can actually help your work. So that's extremely important. Another tip what I would like to say is, like, you want to have a person who is professional, and this is something what I learned hard way. So what I mean by that, you want to have a makeup artist you can trust, a person who, let's say, if they say they're gonna be somewhere for whatever shoot, they're gonna be there, because there's nothing worse when, for example, you have a paid shoot, especially when it comes to those corporate stuff. You make arrangement and then the person's not gonna show up. And I've been there and it's horrible. So also what is important, whenever you're gonna hire a person for stuff like that, try to separate the payments, because what happens is, if you, let's say, you know, charge in your services and the makeup is included and the makeup artist is not gonna show up, it's gonna go on you, and you're gonna look bad, because, you know, they're not gonna blame the makeup artist they didn't show up, they're gonna blame you. So what I do, if that's the case, most of the time, there's actually two options. They can go with me, with my makeup artist, or they can choose on their own. But the makeup artist always, I have to say, they, you know, they get paid separately. So like even the client paid them directly, I'm not getting involved in those stuff. So that's something what you have to kind of figure it out, you know, in your business model, how you want to kind of deal with this. Because if you have someone you can trust, and then, you know, like this is, you know, good to go, and, you know, like you want to kind of charge the client, you know, into your kind of services and have the makeup included. If you're not trust enough, or you're just not sure, what I would suggest, make sure you separate those things, so at the end of the day, like, you know, nobody take responsibility for someone's action. But in my experience, the people I work with, I never had the issue. And then, you know, like, knock on the door, that, you know, that was something which I never had to deal with. Way back in the past, I have a couple of situations where the makeup artist didn't show up and basically informed me last minute, and I was screwed. There's some other people who helped me out, but, you know, you don't want to work with these people anymore. They actually got on my blacklist, and even if they would love to, or I don't know what they would have to do to work with me, again, if this is something what happens, it's pretty much, I'm done with those kind of people. So another extremely important tip, you want to have makeup artists who actually can work quick. And from one hand, it's kind of like tricky to say, but you want to make sure that, you know, like, you're not gonna go to the shoot and the makeup artist gonna work for I don't know, a few hours, and then, you know, like, you're gonna wait and stuff like that. So having someone who can do makeup quick and efficient, this is a bonus, because, you know, you don't want to waste. And especially I found, because I shoot a lot of corporate stuff. Also, these people, they don't want to spend hours and hours on makeup. Like, they want to get in, get it done, go do the shoot and leave. So that's something which also is extremely important. Another tip, what I would have to say, and this is really, really important. This is something which I'm not going to stress enough. You want a makeup artist who understand photographer and the client, because what I mean by that is that, you know, let's say you have a photo shoot and you also have some kind of like look in your mind and in your head, and this is what you're actually going after. But the makeup artists also have to understand, you know, the client needs. Let's say there's a person who doesn't need much makeup, or they're looking for natural look. So you want to have someone who actually can find a balance between photographer needs and the client needs. And the person I work with, like, she's amazing, because she really can actually, you know, find this balance, and then, you know, like, make the client happy and make me happy. And, you know, it's not easy for them. And I know how hard sometimes can be to kind of like reach that balance. But you know, it's just kind of comes down to experience and understanding the client. And then she also is really good to listening both sides, so that's extremely important, and I highly recommend it to actually look after those kind of things, because that's extremely important. Another thing what I would suggest, and this is a really big and important tip, look at the makeup artist, the way they work when, like, I have to say, like, I don't know, it's a proper language, but when the shit hits the fan. And let's say you have a photo shoot, something goes wrong, the client is not happy, you know, let's say they don't like the makeup, and you have to observe them how they deal with the client. Because I've been several times on some photo shoots where, you know, the makeup lost their mind, and they're like, were extremely upset, and they like, I'm not gonna do this, I'm not gonna work with this person anymore. And then they showing you this whole kind of like attitude and stuff like that. And you know, so those kind of like experiences taught me that, you know, like, you can really, I would say, understand the quality, not only the work of someone like makeup artists, when basically things they're not going well, and how they deal with the situation. Are they can adopt it, they can really take the I don't know, the punches, and then pretty much try to fix stuff. You know, they try and be polite, they try and be nice, and they try to kind of resolve the problems. Those are the situations which really shows you if you really want to work with this person. Because as I said, the person I've been in several situations which basically they were not extremely, they were pretty much, there was a tough situation. The client you know, had some issues, and she deal with this like a charm. You know, she fixed the problem, she make the client happy, and then, you know, at the end of the day, we were all kind of benefiting from it, because, you know, she knew how to deal with those kind of stressful situation. And the last thing what I would like to say, you want to have makeup artists with kind of small ego. I know this is maybe something kind of like weird to say, but I really like to work with people who are humble, people who actually they're listening, they're trying to kind of like work with you and try to kind of understand your concept, and kind of give you advice and give you some tips, and then try to kind of like, you know, just work together as a team, because that's extremely important. And you know, people with huge egos, and I've worked with them as well, you know, this is not gonna go, and it's not gonna end well. Because, you know, you have, let's say, a vision, the client has a vision, and you know, the makeup artist is telling you like, okay, this is what I'm gonna do, this is what I think it's gonna look good, and stuff like that. And then basically, you know, usually this whole thing ends up with some arguments and some, I don't want to say fights, but some situations which are stressful for everybody. So I just really want to point it out, because especially with photo shoots, I found, you know, the teamwork is the key to success. Like, you have to have a team of people who understand each other, people who kind of listen to each other, and then they try to actually overcome obstacles together. And you know, the small ego, as I said, is something which is extremely important, and that's what makes the person kind of more approachable, and then it's much easier to solve the problems. As you probably guys know, photography and photo shoots is always, it's always issues, it's always problems, it's always things which you have to somehow figure it out on the shoot quickly, and make sure that, you know, like, you can kind of continue with the shoot, and then finish it off with the results which you are looking for. Okay, so I think that would be everything at this point. I'm sure the list, we could add a few other things to the list, but I would like to hear what you guys have to say and what you guys think about it. I think I actually tried to kind of showcase and expose some of those most important things, which, you know, they make the makeup artist the person who, you know, like, it's gonna work well with you. So if you look at all those aspects, it's definitely gonna help you to filter those ones which they're gonna be the best fit for you. Anyways, I wish you guys fantastic and happy photo shoots. I hope that was interesting. I will be definitely looking forward to hear from you when it comes to that topic, and hear some comments, maybe some messages. I always extremely excited to hear from from all my viewers, because they always have to something interesting to add to those vlogs. So stay tuned. I'll be back in the next couple of days, and we'll chat another interesting topic. So stay tuned, and see you guys very soon. Bye bye.